Government aims high on local drugs manufacturing.
And come out with the solution.
Renewed red alert on climate finance. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Teddy Mparinyanga. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. Director of Pharmaceutical Services and Chief Government Pharmacist Daudi Msasi says until the year 2030, the government expects to reduce the level of pharmaceuticals import by 30% from the current 80%. The move will ensure a 50% of import and a 50% of local production. The chief pharmacist made the statement at a meeting involving pharmaceutical investors held in Dar es Salaam.
We aim to deliberately and come out with the solutions of which it will help us sort the challenge that the local producers are facing, and hence to increase their production to meet the demand of the country, yet to come up with another new investors who will again add up to what is the deficit that we are facing. And currently the country is importing more 8% of its demand on the health commodities, and our aim is to ensure that by 2030 we have less than 30% importation of the health commodity. That's the vision of our Madam President Samia Suluhu Hassan.
On the other hand, the Director of IT of Medical Stores Department, MSD, Leopold Shayo, who is representing the MSD Director General, says Tanzania has diverse investment potentials in the pharmaceutical sector.
At local level, where we have enough supplies in local, we can restrict these tendering processes to be local within the country only, not to compete with the manufacturer from China or India, where probably they could even have lower prices. So giving them more opportunity of now supplying and work with the MSD and the government as well.
Until now, local investors have succeeded to cut medical water imports and reagents, and the government has directed TMDA to conduct a quality level analysis for 12 factories producing 8 types of medicines, including antibiotics and painkillers, which will further cut drug import. As climate change worsens in Africa and globally, climate finance remains critical for the adaptation and mitigation mechanisms in support of climate action. It is against this backdrop that stakeholders at the Green Climate Fund Regional Dialogue with Africa, being held in Windhoek, are deliberating on how to enhance access to funding to address challenges of climate change. Selma Ndikwa from Namibia reports.
Climate change is making its presence known, with average temperature increasing over 1 degree. This has led to the displacement of about 1.8 million Africans because of a prolonged drought. Flooding and cyclones too have plagued the African continent, and these catastrophic events are expected to worsen because of rising temperatures, sea levels, changing rainfall patterns, as well as increased climate variability. Mitigating the effects of climate change thus need urgent and effective funding models. The Green Climate Fund Regional Dialogue seeks to, among others, do just that by facilitating peer-to-peer learning based on experience and best practices, and identifying climate change mitigation and adaptation initiatives.
The private sector has significant potential to meet Africa's climate financial needs. To mobilize private finance, public sector need to improve policy frameworks and investment environments, and deploy concessional financing to target investment barriers.
Through our collaboration with countries in the region, we have implemented innovative projects aimed at improving the quality of life for the most vulnerable, addressing health, food, and water safety, lowering emissions of energy systems, protecting biodiversity, and maximizing nature-based solutions. I want to assure you that GCF will continue to support Africa in these critical efforts, fulfilling our mission to provide financing and technical assistance to projects and programs that promote low-carbon development and climate change adaptation in the region.
Minister Shifeta has emphasized the need for developed countries to fulfill their pledges in relation to climate and development finance and deliver on their commitments to double adaptation finance in Africa. The Green Climate Fund's regional dialogue with Africa is held under the theme Inspire More Climate Action.
Director General of Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, PURA, Engineer Charles Sangweni, urges the private sectors to seize the opportunity to jointly venture into projects of construction of natural gas pipelines and infrastructure transportation, infrastructure to enable Tanzanians to benefit from the natural gas produced in the country. He made the call during a session with media editors, which aims at discussing the performance and the success of the authority.
The participation of locals in this industry is very crucial and important, since it's a natural resource and they have to benefit from it. When we started our work, we focused on this, and the local content, when you are talking of it, you talk in terms of employment first, but also supply of goods and services. So we have done a lot in employment, whereby the companies that are coming to perform these activities, which enters into agreements with the government, we call them production sharing agreements, they have now increased the number of employees in management level from 50 to about 85%.
Furthermore, the Director General adds that 70% of the electricity produced in the country is generated from natural gas.
Infrastructure, or constructing infrastructure of natural gas is a heavily capital intensive and it attracts a lot of money. So the government is doing a lot to make sure that it balances between constructing this natural gas infrastructure plus the other sectors, because you can't concentrate on natural gas utilization while dispensaries and other services are not doing well.
The director has further added that the construction of natural gas transportation infrastructure is a cost, and he asks Tanzanians to take advantage of the opportunity. Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Professor James Mdoe, says the new curriculum will be implemented gradually starting in January 2024. Professor Mdoe made the reaffirmation in Dar es Salaam during a signing of an agreement between the Tanzania Institute of Education, TET, and the Gwangju Metropolitan Office of Education from South Korea as part of the education improvement measures and training teachers and students in the use of information and communication technology, ICT.
Indicates a strong commitment to improve education in Tanzania and strengthen teachers and student knowledge on the correct use of information and communication technology in learning. In addition, this collaboration has come at an appropriate time where we are starting the implementation of curriculum change.
On the other hand, the Director General of Tanzania Institute of Education, Dr. Annette Komba, says the cooperation between the two sides has greatly helped to strengthen the teachers' skills and knowledge on the use of IT and teaching and learning.
The first phase of the implementation of the Korea e-Learning Improvement Cooperation, which held in 2021 and 2022, a total of 50 academics and 40 teachers from Kimbiji Secondary School and Tegeta A Primary School received online training and development and how to use electronic content in teaching and learning.
The signing of the contract is a continuation of South Korea's support in the area of education, where previously 2 schools in Kimbiji and in Pwani region and Tegeta in Dar es Salaam city have benefited. Ambassador of Kenya to Tanzania, Isaac Njenga, urges Tanzanian business community to maximize on ever-expanding market of agricultural products in Kenya. He made the call during an exclusive interview with TBC, insisting that 80% of maize from Tanzania is sold in Kenya after the Kenyan government removed the crop import tax.
The permit that was given to import corn without paying taxes will now be removed. But we as East Africans do not pay tax on agricultural products or sales. We only pay value-added tax. So the markets are free and things are going on smoothly at the border.
He adds that during the year 2021, Tanzania sold maize worth 4.5 billion shillings to Kenya, and until the end of 2022, it reached 24.5 billion shillings. Speaking on the issue of border security, Ambassador Njenga says the Embassy of Kenya has created a special committee formed by the two countries to manage the security in those areas.
Kenya makes a great contribution in the tourism sector. Statistics show that the rate of tourists coming to Tanzania from Kenya after the royal tour has increased. At the border, we have committees called the Border Management Committee that facilitates transportation in general. And within these committees, there are various security institutions that ensure our border are safe. And illegal items do not get access to cross over. And illegal items do not get access to cross over.
Njenga says there has been an increase of tourists from Kenya stimulated to a great extent by the Royal Tour film. Finance Director of Tanzania Agricultural Development Bank, TADB, Dr. Kaneli Nkunko, says the bank has achieved an impressive financial performance during the third quarter financial year after posting a pre-tax profit amounting to 4.8 billion shillings, an increase of 28% compared to 3.81 billion recorded in the same period in 2022. He was in Dar es Salaam insisting that the growth in pre-tax profit was substantially contributed by an increase of interest and non-interest incomes. He adds that TADB posted a 26% year-on-year increase in net interest income, which climbed from 8.66 billion shillings to 10.94 billion in quarter 3 2023, driven by the expansion of lending activities within the agricultural sector and the effective management of interest-earning assets.
Non-interest income also experienced a commendable increase, totaling TZS 1.52 billion in quarter 3, making an increase of 18% compared to the corresponding period in 2022. The growing lending activities played a pivotal role in impressive 18% growth of non-interest income in the third quarter. On year-to-date basis, the PBT, which is a profit before tax, reached Tanzanian shilling 12.34, showing a remarkable increase, just like I've explained above. Loan and advances increased by Tanzanian shilling 94 billion, which is an increase of almost 30% when compared to last year.
On the other hand, the acting director of Credit and Business, Afia Sige, says that in the third quarter of the year of 2023, a total of more than 61 billion shillings were issued as loans in the agriculture, livestock and fishing sectors in the country, while the NGC fund manager for the Smallholder Credit Guarantee Scheme, SCGS, George Nyamruda, adds that the credit facility continues to make substantial progress.
0.2 billion was directly put into input financing and directly into the financing of farms. 19.2 billion went into factories, which are directly used in agro-processing of agricultural commodities, and 1.2 billion went into irrigation schemes. Another 1.1 billion was used for buying of livestock, building of warehouses, and also mechanization centers.
For the third quarter in 2023, TADB managed to grow the guarantee portfolio up to 228 billion, which is an increment of 43% compared to the same quarter last year, 2022. So this growth is mainly supported 16,431 direct beneficiaries and around 95% being smallholder farmers and the rural micro enterprises.
Acting manager of the Tanzania Rural and Urban Roads Agency in the Kagera region, rural region, Kenneth Dushime, says the increase in the road and infrastructure budget has increased the road network in the municipality. He says the expansion of the roads is connecting the residents of the municipality as well as stimulating economic activities in the region. Here's the report by Charles Mubea, read by Faithan Gaga.
The Kiamitembe Bridge was one of the biggest problems for the residents of Nshambya and Ramishenye wards, and now the government has spent more than 482 million shillings to complete the construction of the bridge.
We used to lose our children in this river. Also, when water flooded this river, we could not cross from one ward to another. Whenever it rained, both students and citizens here could not cross the river. We are grateful to President Samia for the funds she has allocated for the construction of this bridge.
The bridge built has included a 2-kilometer road and thereby increasing the road network for 175 kilometers.
Ongezeko hili tumefanya vitu vikubwa.
With this increase, we have executed various big projects. In the municipal, for instance, we have 175.91 kilometer tarmac road network, while in the beginning, we had 34.3 kilometer of tarmac road network.
The Peaceland Foundation in China, which specializes in emergency rescue and disaster relief, says will continue to cooperate with the Sukoscope Foundation to train the police force in various parts of the country to sharpen their skills in understanding in various rescue methods. The representative of the foundation, Henry Wang, made the assurance in Dar es Salaam, insisting that the training will be crucial during disasters. Emmanuel Samuel has more.
The representative of the foundation, Henry Huang, says the historic friendship between Tanzania and China has facilitated the provision of the training to the police force to be better equipped during the disasters.
Interactions between China and Tanzania, we believe in sharing knowledges, we could raise the awareness of both sides of the community. This is only the beginning, but for now, it's mostly focusing on the police officers.
In addition, Huang says, apart from training the police force on rescue methods, they will also provide equipment that will help the police force during the rescue operations.
In the future, there will be more trainings with the fire department. We're also looking for donations to providing more equipment when it comes to rescue services. And this is only just the beginning of a beautiful chapter for this long-lasting friendship.
Some of the beneficiaries of the training says the training has increased the understanding on rescue operations, while the director of Cover Foundation explains the objective of the training.
For myself and my colleagues who have received this training are going to be teachers for those who were not present. The training aims to help us get ready and with disasters, especially for us district inspectors. And as we are facing a period of heavy rains at the moment, we expect to be effective from this training that we have received. The police force is very close to the communities, especially when disaster occur. They are in a very big position to educate the communities as well as to protect themselves. But there is a need of educating the community on how to deal with different disasters when they occur.
Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
Chemka Hot Springs is among the most spectacular hot springs in Tanzania. It is about 70 kilometers away from Arusha city and takes about a 2-hour drive to go there. The hot spring is known for its blue-colored water. It is also near Mount Kilimanjaro in Moshi, the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. Faithan Gaga has prepared the following story.
Chemka Hot Springs, also known as Kikuletwa Hot Springs. Just 1.5 hours from Arusha and nearby Moshi town. This is one of the hidden gems of Tanzania that you need to visit. The water here is crystal clear in this jungle oasis where you can relax all day and even enjoy rope swings, tire tubing, and some high jumps out of the trees. This beautiful mineral spring originates from Kilimanjaro groundwaters. These are underground springs with warm water. The water forms a clear and clean pond, which is ideal for swimming. The pond is very deep, in some places up to 10 meters. The Chemka Hot Springs is an ideal place to ease those tired legs after a strenuous ascent up Kilimanjaro. They are a little bit of heaven that's perfect for a day trip, and those warm waters invite you to linger, swim, or explore. Return refreshed, revitalized, and relaxed.
Before we wind up the local news tonight, let us now have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Stay tuned for all the latest in international news. And here is international news as compiled and read by Dorothy Mari, read to you by Faidan Gaga.
Some 600 Egyptian nationals residing illegally in Libya queued outside the Tripoli-based Directorate of Combating Illegal Migration to receive a pass that would enable them to leave Libya. Recently, United Nations agencies were responsible for repatriating refugees and migrants in Libya. Thousands of Egyptians have lived in Libya for years, many working in agriculture, construction, and other sectors. Some passed through Libya in attempts to reach Europe. At least 15 people have died in Kenya in floods caused by torrential rains that have hit East Africa, cutting off roads, washing away dozens of houses, and killing livestock. Kenyan Red Cross says as of Sunday, 15,264 households have been affected, with 15 reported casualties and at least 1,067 livestock deaths. Kenya's Meteorological Service warned last week that the heavy rains are likely to be accompanied by gusty winds, which could tear off roofs, uproot trees, and cause structural damage. People across Israel are marking 1 month since the Hamas attacks on 7th of October. The attacks killed more than 1,400 people, with more than 200 others kidnapped. Israel responded with airstrikes and a ground operation, saying it is targeting Hamas infrastructure and minimizing civilian deaths. King Charles of United Kingdom has delivered the King's Speech at Westminster. The speech lays out the government's plans for the year ahead and marks the normal start of the parliamentary year. It mentions the government's priorities. Among them will be investment in transport, laws to prevent children smoking, and tougher sentences for serious offenders. It's Charles' first King's Speech as monarch, but he stepped in for his mother, the late Queen Elizabeth, in May 2022. The last king to oversee the state opening of Parliament, a glittering spectacle in central London, was George VI in 1950.
That's international news. Sport news up next. And in sports news, Simba Football Club has parted ways with the head coach Roberto Oliveira following the team losing 5 goals to their arch-rivals, Young Africans in NBC Tanzania Premier League at Benjamin Mkapa Stadium last Sunday. Statement from Simba Football Club reveals that both have reached a mutual agreement for the betterment of both parties. Robertinho, nicknamed by Tanzania football fans Mr. Objective, has led Simba to quarterfinals of African Champions League last season and to the group stage this season, won 1 Community Shield Cup, and lost only 1 Premier League match against Young Africans. He led Simba in 18 games, won 15, lost 1 match, drew 2 matches, scored 45 goals, and conceded 17 goals with 8 clean sheets. Club has appointed Daniel Cadena and Suleiman Matola as caretakers until the club finds a replacement of Robertinho to lead the squad to the ongoing NBC Premier League and African Champion League group stage. Tanzania Football Federation TFFF President Wallace Karia says Tanzania, Uganda and Kenya will throw in a joint bid to host African Nations Championship, CHAN, to collect some experience before hosting the African Cup of Nations 2027. President Karia insists that to host CHAN will be a great test to the three countries before AFCON 2027.
Ombi la kuwasilisha kuhusu sisi kuandaa mashindano ya CHAN.
We want to send a bid to host African Nation Championship CHAN as a rehearsal for the coming AFCON 2027. The aim is to get experience before we host African football at a big stage.
Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda won the joint bid to host the African Cup of Nations 2027. Minister of Culture, Arts and Sports Dr. Damas Ndumbaro says government plans to bring golf technical experts to polish Tanzanian golf coaches to improve their skill and knowledge of the game. Dr. Ndumbaro adds that the objective of the move is to develop golf by imparting skills to local coaches to the international standard.
Planning to bring more experts to train our golfers in Tanzania, both men and women, especially youth, and also to take the golf national teams and camp them in one of the countries where golf has developed quite well.
Dr. Ndumbaro was speaking after receiving the East African Golf Championship trophy from Tanzania Women Golf National Team after winning the East African Golf Championship tournament held in Rwanda from October 20th to November 3rd. And that is sports news. And now, before we conclude the news bulletin, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello viewers, my name is Amina Saleh from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Welcome to 24 hours weather forecasting starting from tonight. Rainfall model indicating chance of precipitation over the Lake Victoria Basin toward the west. Tanzania Meteorological Authority had issued an advisory of heavy precipitation over the western side of the country, especially over Kigoma, Katavi and Rukwa. And for tonight, over the Lake Victoria Basin and west are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over few areas. And the same weather is expected over Rukwa. Over the northeastern highlands are expected to feature partly cloudy condition with rain showers over few areas. And the rest part of the country are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions. And for tomorrow, over Kigoma, Katavi and Rukwa are expected to feature cloudy conditions, thunder showers over some areas and sun interval. Over the Lake Victoria Basin are expected to feature cloudy condition, thunder showers over few areas and sun interval. Over Tabora, northeastern highlands and extreme northern coast, which include Tanga and the islands of Unguja and Pemba, are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over few areas and sun period. Over Morogoro, Dar es Salaam, Pwani and Lindi are expected to feature partly cloudy condition with light rain showers. And the same weather is expected over southwestern highlands. While over the central, Iringa and the southern sector of the country are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions. Now let's have a look on 4 days weather forecasting. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, thanks for watching. Have a good night.
That marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. I am Teddy Mparinyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.